Hello out there to anybody watching. This is my second video. It meant to be my first. I actually recorded it already and couldn't upload it unfortunately. So chronologically, it is actually my second, but it was supposed to be my first. And I'm gonna make it about the experience that I had seeing the band Baroness play in Boston about a month or two ago, actually. Saw them at the Royale Theater in downtown Boston, and it was an early show, 6 o'clock. Me and my friend and another friend, we drove in and parked right outside the venue, which will be pertinent information later on. So we went in and couldn't. I mean, I remember looking up who was going to open for them. There's no way they're just gonna play. I mean, it's possible, but we found out while we got in there a band called Youth Code. So we get in there. Venue's an awesome venue. Actually, I have a friend who's really into like EDM and stuff like that, and it's actually mostly used for like that, like clubbing. But for hosting an artist, it totally worked. It was fine. It was good. It was big enough. It had an upper balcony. It had a good floor. Stage was big enough for a band like Baroness. But I don't think they could do much smaller than that. I mean, they could, but that's like the low end of what Baroness I think would perform at. I think that they are definitely capable of doing bigger venues, and I'm sure they have and will do bigger venues. But anyway, I digress. So, Youth Code. Just hearing the name, I was like, this sounds like some angsty teen band, almost like a band for a punk name, a punk band. So keep an open mind. I remember seeing their stuff at the merch table. I went up and looked at the merch table, and John Dyer Basley, who does all the artwork for Baroness, makes all of their merchandise very compelling, and makes me want to buy it. And for some reason, I just didn't. I don't know why. Just nothing really totally was like to me that I had to buy it. I had to have it. So I just wasn't in the spending mood, I guess, and I let it, fly. I already own three of their CDs. I almost bought the Blue album. That's the closest thing I came to purchasing. I almost bought the Blue album. I still might, and if I do, then I will regret not buying it then because I could have given the money directly to Baroness. So there's that. So I saw the Youth Code stuff there too. I can't remember much of their artwork. I just remember black and white type stuff, not a lot of color. So they came on, and what I will describe them as is a female vocalist, um, probably in her 20s or something like that. Uh, and then another gentleman, older than her, probably in his 30s, on a keyboard. And it was just them for a while, and before they started playing, it was just them setting up, and right before they were about to play, my friend of a friend who I got along with very well pretty much immediately. I just remember him saying, is it just them?" And then they started playing, and it was like electronic. It was like death electric music. It was like death. I don't want to say EDM or dubstep, maybe like death step. I don't know if you want to call it that. Probably not. I don't think they would appreciate that name, but yeah, like electronic music, very intense, bassy, all harsh vocals, very strong vocal capability of her. She was at 11 the whole time in terms of energy output. I mean, she brought it all. She never chilled at all, which is fine. A lot of artists that I listen to are always at 10 or 11, or so she brought it. And obviously, she must always be like that. That must be that artist's sound, the way they make art. It wasn't for me, I'll be honest. I looked them up after the show and listened to some of their stuff, and I could totally see how people can appreciate it and be into it. It's definitely for some people. it's not garbage. It's just not my personal taste, and I did think it was a little bit weird for Baroness to have them as their opener. They were not really that much alike in sound at all, and don't know how many fans that they have will transfer and now really be into youth code. But I'm sure some people did. Um, yeah, so that's it about youth code. Baroness came on, and the first song they played was, I believe, "Shock Me" off their first, I'm sorry, most recent album, Purple, which is a fantastic song. I really like it. Yeah, I was psyched. I was totally okay with that as their opener. It's a good opener, really. So they killed it. I don't know if it was me getting used to them sounding live, or if they just may have had a hiccup for the first 45 seconds. Because I remember being like, what's going on here? But I mean, after that, they sounded phenomenal for the whole show. They were great live. I just remember like the very first. Maybe it took me a little bit to adapt to it. Not that it was much different from the recording, but just a little bit different. And I've seen them live on YouTube before, so I kind of knew what to expect. So they played "Shock Me," which is great. They played, out of the first 5 songs they played, I would say about 4 of them were off of Purple, and then the other one was probably off of Green or Yellow. So, first third of the show, I'm thinking to myself, are they just playing new stuff? I mean, come on, where is Red and Blue that I would love? Not that I mean, I fully love their new stuff. I love the whole album, Purple. Yellow and Green it's out there, I think, for a metal album. It's very experimental. It's almost considered an alternative rock or an indie record, in my opinion. But on its own, I think it's great. I think all their albums are great. So, but I was just hoping to hear a lot more of their older stuff, and they did get into some of that. So, yeah, they started playing some of their songs off of Blue and Red, and as they would play different songs, the lighting would change for whatever album they were playing off of. Um, they had purple lighting when they were playing "Shock Me" and "Chlorine and Wine." If I Have to Wake Up, "March to the Sea," they had yellow lighting. Green theme, they had green, etc. So they played a lot of great songs. I mean, they have a lot to work with. They have a deep discography. Let's see, 5 albums and an EP. So did I do that right? Yeah, 5 albums and an EP. So they have a lot to pull from, and the pit was very active. I got involved in the pit, hit my head against some other kid, unfortunately, which sucks, but it was all good. I remember them off Blue playing a horse called Golgotha, which was great. A lot of people crowd surfing. I, in fact, crowd surfed for a really long time. When the song Eula came on, Eula, I think that's how it's pronounced, it's Eula. I got lifted up, and I stayed crowd surfing from really like the beginning of the song when the drums kick in to like the like kind of guitar solo, and I'd have to go back and listen to the song, but I think that's almost like 90 seconds. I was up there for a long, long time, and I tried to make it easy for everybody, kept good posture and tried to keep myself light. I mean, naturally I am, weighing about like 170 pounds. So, and I love that song, Eula, so I was totally into it. I got pushed up on stage even, obviously got right back down, security wasn't having it. So me and my friend got involved in the pit. It was great. What more can I say? Towards the end of the show, I was, a couple times when it was quiet, I shouted out. I was like, "Play Isaac," and I was hoping they were saving it for last. I was hoping they weren't going to admit it. It's my favorite Baroness song, and I'm sure a lot of other people's favorite Baroness song. It's I want to say it's the third track on Red album, which is also my favorite album of theirs. Um, that whole album is phenomenal, and I recommend it to anybody. I recommend any Baroness album to anybody, but if you're already into hardcore music and you're okay with harsh vocals, and pounding guitars and just really not super aggressive but very driven music, I highly recommend Red album or Red record. I think it's Red album by Baroness. If you're new to metal and the genre in general, start off with purple or even yellow and green. You know. So they played Isaac, and the crowd went berserk. I went berserk. The pit was insane at that time. Just Isaac is just an anthem. It is just a. It blew me away, and they rocked live throughout the entire show. They killed it. They played Isaac, and then they left, and I think Pete Adams, backup vocalist slash lead guitarist, I guess you could call him. I think they're kind of both lead and rhythm. Very versatile guitar band. As they're leaving, he's gesturing. We'll be right back. Because, of course, they got called out for the encore, and, of course, they played their most popular song, probably the closest song to what would be considered a commercial, radio play song, which is Take My Bones Away. Fucking fantastic song. Love it. First time I heard that song, I just couldn't get enough of it. I could not get enough of it. And I burnt myself out a little bit on it, but I fucking love that jam. It's a great song. So they played that. Crowd went nuts. I was actually really close to Pete Adams at that time, and so close I could have reached out and touched his guitar and him. Obviously I didn't, though. So the show ended on a strong note. They killed it, played a great song, got a warm welcome. I forgot to mention John Dyer Baisley brought his daughter out on stage after the show. During the show, he dedicated the song "If I Have to Wake Up" to his family who were there. They were up in the balcony. So they played just a bunch of great songs. They played "Chlorine and Wine," of course, off their new album, which was great to see them do that live. It was a great show overall. Definitely would like seeing them again. They had a lot of energy. The crowd was super into it. Just overall fantastic performance. So real quick, I'll let you know after the show. My prime parking spot was not a prime parking spot. I got towed, which sucked. Because I parked right where the tour buses go, unfortunately. Myself, fucking idiot. Oh, look at it, what great parking we got right in front of the venue. Fucking awesome. Walked right in, didn't worry about it, came out, car's towed. Sucks. What can you do? Figured out that the tow yard wasn't very far. We decided to walk. It was a nice, beautiful night. We walked through these luxurious parts of the south end of Boston into the projects. The juxtaposition of how close these neighborhoods are is, I'm sure it's like that in any city, but that's what I have experience with. So we get to the tow yard, which took us fucking forever to find because we smoked a joint on the way and got stoned and all disoriented, and we were like, where the fuck is this place? We found it though, paid the fee, barely got my friend's friend to the train station in time for his train back to New Hampshire, and successful night. Even though I got towed, it was very much worth it, and I'd love to see Baroness again. So that's about it. Have a great life.